So welcome back to the vlog. I'm here in Girona and this afternoon I'm gonna head over to see Boris at DOS Off Track because I'm gonna find out if I can use one bike as both my gravel setup and my road setup by just changing the wheels, and specifically a mechanic's point of view of all the little things you need to look out for if you wanna be doing that. So welcome back to the vlog. I'm here again at DOS Off Track in Girona with Boris. More bike setup videos, Boris.
Second bike setup, third?
Yeah, second.
Second video. We have some cool wheels as well.
Yes. That's another new thing for today. Just these new wheels, look at those.
A lot of people are doing this. A lot of people have just the one bike and they're choosing to have two sets of wheels and just run it in different setups depending on what they want to do. It's a really cool idea that started with, especially with modern gravel bikes and especially with disc brakes. Once disc brakes are the standard throughout all the bikes, it's really cool because then you can have two sets of wheels, or maybe you have an old set of wheels from your old road bike and you just run your gravel bike with different setups, and yeah, super easy to do. And so I think it's a good opportunity to have a look and think what is maybe the drawbacks or the things that keep in mind when doing this, and just to make sure everything works perfect and it's as easy as possible for people to swap their own wheels, and you know, they can do Saturdays on the gravel and then Sundays on the road.
Exactly.
I think we can do is we can compare both wheels, and see what differences can we see that's gonna dictate a bit what we're doing. The main thing that we can see is that this one's clean and this one's dirty. Right.
I thought you were going to say they're both 700C.
Yeah, exactly.
That would help.
That helps a ton. That's good. But actually it doesn't need to be. You can have a very rowdy 650B wheel set for the gravel with chunky tires, and then you have a 700C for the road. You don't need rim brakes. Don't dictate the size of your wheel anymore. Yeah. Braking is at the hub. Yeah. And so there's a ton of combinations there. Obviously the rim part, the tire part, that's what we're changing. But the hub changes as well in terms of both the disc that we have and the cassette. And so this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna play with those to set this up so it works with that one. Obviously road ratios, as you can see, are quite smaller compared to gravel ratios. That's because we usually have a 2x, and so if you have a 2x on a gravel bike, you can keep close to road ratios on the gravel bike as well. But here we have a 1x, and so a 1x with this cassette. It's probably gonna be.
It's not gonna be fun.
The first thing that I'm gonna recommend, I think, if you really want to do this and want to be able to swap wheels super easily in a couple of minutes, is to just run the same ratios on both wheel sets. That's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna put that cassette here, just because he's gonna be riding this one's for. You're gonna be riding this one's for. Exclusively, and then you know that the derailleur is set up the exact same way, that the chain is the exact same length, and everything works. Yeah. If you want to have a smaller cassette for the road, because you think you might want the closer gear ratios and you don't need that much gear, well, you know, you're gonna have to tweak maybe have a couple of chains, and then you have to change, and then it starts getting a bit more involved every time you want to change it. So keep the same gear ratios. If they work on the gravel, they're gonna work on the road, and they might be a bit overkill, but who knows? Yeah, doesn't hurt. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that cassette. We're gonna put it here, and so we're gonna have that's actually what Roglic was doing at the Giro. Yeah, yeah. He was running on this cassette for those super hilly stages. Yeah. What do you think that is?
Like a shim or something?
A shim for a disc brake, right? Yeah. So and this one's for a disc brake as well, for a sort of center lock disc brake. Can also work for the cassette. So the second thing you want to think about, I think, is try to get the same wheel set, or at least the same hub, or at least the same brand of hub. If you have a couple of wheels and you want to swap and you want to make it super easy, because there's a tolerance in the position of the cassette, and that's why we have to sort of adjust the derailleurs and, you know, sort of tweak them and
So the gears don't jump, right?
Exactly. So you want every cassette, every cog to be in the exact same position as it is on the other wheel. And so even if you have the same brand, sometimes there will be a small difference. And even if they start perfect, they will kind of wear with time, because you're riding one more than the other, and then the bearings start wearing, and then it starts moving, and that's why you sometimes have to adjust your gears from time to time. And we usually would just select the wheel and adjust the derailleur, but on this case we have to adjust the cassette. And so what I do is I look which cassette is farther out, and then I grab the other one and I shim it and move it to the position of the other one. So that's a trick that most workshops will have a few of those on hand. And that is important for the cassette, but the cassette, you know, has a bit of a bigger tolerance. Super important for the disc, because we all know how annoying rubbing discs are. Everybody hates them. I hate them because they give me a lot of work. And so that's super important, even more so than the cassette, is to make sure that both discs are in the exact same position. And that's why I use it. These are for 6-bolt. We don't see them as much, but there's still people riding 6 bolts on the road. And these ones are for center lock.
That's amazing. Yeah, you can't have dirty rotors on clean wheels, can you?
Yeah, just putting it on the. Yeah, I kind of like as well using the same brand of discs. Also because that way the braking surface is gonna play nice with the brake pads. Think about the fact that you have 2 discs and 1 set of brake pads, and so you want those brake pads to work kind of the same way. So it's just as much as you want to change and have 2 setups, really the easiest way is to have the same setup and just 2 rims and 2 tires. What I'm always advising when people, you know, want to go for this dream setup, 1 very nice frame, 1 very nice group set, 2 very nice wheel sets, and it's easy to travel with, it's easy to live with, it's less maintenance. You don't have to buy 2 bikes, which, you know, it's expensive, or maybe you don't have enough space to have 2 bikes. That's the easiest way to have 2 setups is to have the least amount of change. And so essentially to have 1 setup with 2 different rims. Once you understand a couple of things that you need to do, maybe if you bring it to the workshop for a service at some point, always bring both wheel sets, because then the mechanic can actually check that it's still working on both wheel sets, because he might do a bit of work, he might tweak the gears on one without thinking, okay, actually this guy has 2 wheel sets, and so he has to make it work for the 2 of them. Yeah. So there's a couple of things. Once you get used to it, and once you understand how the bike's working as a package with both wheel sets, it's good to go.
I'm not gonna lie, this cassette does look a little bit weird on this road wheel. What do you think?
It does, doesn't it? Sure. I don't know. It's wonky.
Yeah. It's cool though. It's just something different.
Has anybody tested the aero effect of a bigger cassette?
Probably. I would say Jumbo Visma have.
Man, this is breaking my mind. What if we come up with aero cassettes and then reinvent and then destroy the market? Wheel goes in.
Yeah.
You wanna like pro tip here?
Yeah.
If you have the same hub on a couple of wheel sets, and you wanna make sure they always go straight, and the disc always goes straight. I saw a client do this and he explained it to me, so now it's my pro tip. You just scratch or grab or something and just make a line somewhere on the wheel, on the axle. Yep. And so when you tighten, you're always tightening to the exact same torque, essentially, without having to use a torque wrench, which, you know, it says 10 Newton meters.
Ah, okay.
And so that means that the disc is always gonna be, because when you tighten, you know, you're crushing everything together and it sort of slightly moves, it's always gonna be in the same spot. Ah. So if you're having problems with swapping wheels and the discs rubbing and everything, that's kind of a good idea. By the sounds that I make. Milk.
You don't like what? So with this bicycle, obviously the Vitas Venon, it is specifically designed to be a master of both road and gravel. And I hope today you've learned a few reasons why it's totally possible to do it all on one frame. But there are just some little things that you need to look out for and stay aware of. And I realize how lucky I am to have such a good mechanic in Boris, so that I don't need to worry about all these little things, and he's got my back. But if you did want to do some DIY mechanics, you know what to look out for.
You know, the basics are, yes, you can do it, and you have to think about the axles being the right size and all that stuff, but that's the basics, you know. So when you get into these tiny tips and tricks, that is
exactly
gets to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How to make brakes stop rubbing, and then it's literally spray something in there, you know.
Boris, I've watched 100 videos on YouTube, which is like, can I run one bike on both? And I don't think I've seen any that go into the dynamics of actually how to make it happen and what to look out for. So it's a YouTube first, guys. Don't quote me on that. Alright, here she is, ready to go.